a couple videos to watch here to change it up for a second. There was some announcements about Unreal Engine 5. It is crazy what this engine's going to be. Games are going to look like this, which is just kind of wild to think about, isn't it? Coming from the days I grew up playing Mario, a side scroller, you know? Okay.
To the engine to support foliage rendering, and the Fortnite team used those features to ship Battle Royale Chapter 4. At the same time, Jacob over there and the team at Quixel were experimenting with what's possible for photoreal foliage environments.
What?
Testing out the latest functionality that we've been building.
It looks so good, man. It just looks so good.
For Unreal Engine. So, Jacob's here with us today in the Unreal Editor. Let's explore the environment. And what better way to do that than off-roading? And what better way to off-road than in a Rivian R1T? Now, Rivian uses Unreal to power their instrument cluster, including 3D visualization of their vehicles.
Cars are now using... Wait, cars are using Unreal Engine 2 now? What?
So we worked with them to bring the R1T to life in this experience.
Yeah, I didn't see that coming.
Sure thing, on my way.
Right.
Did not see that coming.
We're building tools for interactive and dynamic worlds.
Jesus.
So here we have chaos physics simulating rocks that tumble as we drive over them, leaves bend out of the way, and we also added some real-time fluid simulation. We worked with the team at Rivian to set up Unreal's Chaos vehicle model to simulate the suspension of the truck and how the electric motors drive each individual wheel. Chaos also simulates how the tires compress and deform, and Meta Sounds enabled the team to precisely resynthesize the sounds of the electric motors and mix them with the ambisonics of the jungle.
Wow.
So Rivian provided us with a highly detailed model of the truck, about 71 million polygons that were able to render in real time thanks to Nanite. Now the Rivian not only looks incredibly realistic because of Lumen and Nanite, but also its materials. And today we're introducing Substrate, our new material framework.
It just looks like a picture, dude. This just looks like a picture. Straight up. There's something about the car that's off. I think it's the front. It looks plastic for some reason, but like other than that, like it's just like flawless. I think there's not like you're not getting reflections on the front for some reason, but dude, it's an unnecessary amount of polygons. It is plastic. Is that what it is? The front is actually plastic, so it looks plastic. Rivian, is it? Yeah, the front bumper looks odd. It's the smoothness, I think. Yeah, something's off about that. Unless that's just how it looks in real life. Now I gotta look. This is pretty much how the games look back in the day, in our memories at least. That's 100% true, man. I remember there's been more than one occasion where I go back and look at a game and I'm like, God, I remember this looking so much better, you know? Or it's cutscenes, especially with cutscenes. Like there's like the D2 cutscenes. I watched them and they used to look so, in my mind, they were just like, it was like real life. And then I watch them now and it's awful. Unreal 5 melts your PC engine. That's the beauty of Nanite. There is no necessary amount anymore. Yeah, oh man, it's crazy technology.
And to better demonstrate it, let's swap the paint out for Opal.
The truck actually looks like that?
Now, of course, you can't order a Rivian with Opal body panels, but Opal was the internal code name for this project, and also a really great demonstration of Substrate's capabilities. The base layer models the iridescence, refraction, and reflections that occur inside of an opal.
Wow.
And on top of that is a layer representing the polished surface and how light is absorbed as it travels through that clear layer of varying depths. And now we can add back on the dust and dirt layers. And notice how the reflection changes when interacting with the dust layer, and that there are no artifacts along the transition from dirt to dust to opal. So Substrate is more expressive, enabling artists to create materials like this with different shading models and compose and layer those materials as they see.
Even the tires deforming. Like it's just been generally accepted for so long that either the tire is floating just above the ground or it's slightly clipping through the ground. Like we even have tire deformation now.
Fit. All right, let's head on out, Jacob.
On my way.
All right. In terms of performance, Substrate materials that are similar to the current Unreal Engine shading model cost about the same. But now, artists have the freedom to author more complex materials for extremely detailed use cases, like in cinematics and in film. So we're going to drive under this fallen tree here, and everything that you've seen up to this point was painstakingly hand-built by the environment team at Quixel. Everything since that fallen tree has been built using our brand new experimental suite of procedural content generation tools.
Wow. That's pretty cool, man. That's pretty cool. No, you don't like, it's slightly different, it's slightly different in the setting, but like just the fact that like they could just be like, okay, you know, make some foliage here, fill this area out, and it looks this cool, this good. Jeez, man. Jeez. Imagine an MMO with these graphics, though.
Entirely an engine that are flexible,
it's almost like
deterministic, and artist-driven. Our guiding principle in building these systems
it's not that far
is to
away.
empower artists to make tools for artists. So Jacob's going to go ahead and add a procedural assembly to the world. And the cool thing is that it communicates.
What? What?
Yeah. Pretty cool.
Bro, how long would that have taken them to like draw and build and render like 3 years ago? You know? It's drag and drop now.
And the cool thing is that it communicates with other nearby procedural elements in the scene, like the creek bed. So let's say a designer comes by, wants to direct the player to drive to the left. Jacob can simply move the assembly to the right.
Let's go.
And everything updates to accommodate that change. Game design is iterative. So let's say the designer comes back, wants to give the player the choice of going left or right again. Jacob can simply move the assembly back over. Now, the artist who created this assembly...
It's so cool to watch, like, when he moved it, to watch, like, the terrain around it adjust to make it look like it fits in right there. Like, kind of like the whole automated portion of this process. Like,
going left or right again, Jacob can simply move the assembly back over. Now, the artist who created
and then it
this
blends in
assembly
perfectly.
Also added some additional handles that Jacob can use to art direct where rock slides occur. Allows him to customize the piece a little bit more, make it a little easier for the Rivian to drive by.
Automated rock
So we started
slides.
by handcrafting that original part of the level to set the visuals and art direction for the entire piece, and then built out procedural tools that allowed the team to create a much larger play space much more quickly.
That's true. Do you think it's like a 4090 rendering this or something much more powerful even? You know, some kind of custom built machine, non-consumer. Wonder how well and it understands the mesh of volume in these. Yeah, dude, I wonder.
Now let's see how we can use these procedural tools to make larger sweeping changes to the environment. So Jacob, let's start by removing some of the trees in this area.
Absolutely, that's easy enough actually.
All right, a little too much. Let's add some trees back in.
Okay.
And let's also add in some cliff formations, give it a little bit more variability. So the procedural system.
Yeah, so I'm gonna be building an open world game. I need like an hour to build the world. Hold up. I'll get to you guys in a second.
They're all deterministic, as Jacob is experimenting with different sets of input.
So weird.
Once he finds a set that he likes, he can always go back to it and get out exactly the same results. And the procedural systems aren't just placing trees and rocks, but also fog cards, bugs, birds, everything that's needed to bring this environment to life. And everything that you've seen here works at scale. This environment is 4 kilometers by 4 kilometers.
Having a house there,
Hide all
yeah.
the procedural
Be
elements,
gorgeous.
We can see that original hand.
Lots of insects, though.
About 200 meters by 200 meters. We believe that there will always be the need for hand-building environments, so we design these procedural systems to be tools for artists that work in concert with hand-built content. Both Substrate and the new procedural tools will be available in experimental form in 5.2. And everything you've seen here is running in the Unreal Editor in real time on a developer machine with an Intel 13900K CPU and NVIDIA RTX 4090 GPU.
So my computer. Literally all of that was being rendered on my computer. 13900 and 4090. Whoa, that's crazy.
So Jacob, thanks for being here and helping us out today.
Thank you very much, Nick, for having me. It's been a
That's
pleasure.
nuts, dude. That looked amazing. That looked amazing. And my computer could render that? Probably because of what? The nanite technology?